Might be wrong. Right, can you tell me your full name?
George Dyer.
And you got a nickname? What's the nickname? Or what's the name of the shop?
No, the name of the shop is Threadneedle Man.
Oh, that's not a nickname then, that's just the name of the shop.
Threadneedle Man. Well, they started to call me Freddie Needles now. You know, my pal in the city, he's got works for him one time, and he phones me up. He knows the name of the shop is Threadneedle Man. So he's gone, all right, Fred, because like, you know, so he's gonna. If you're South London, you're gonna not say the whole lot. You go, all right, Fred. So it's Freddie Needles now, you know. But I still got it, Fred Needles. Well, how I got the name, Mick? Going through over London Bridge, going through like Fenchurch Street, Grace Church Street. There's Threadneedle Street in there, and I'm going on to Dalston because I'm working in the tailors in Dalston, and I think, oh, that's a great name for tailors, Threadneedle. Oh, I thought, well, maybe one day I'll get my own shop, call it Threadneedle Tailors or something. Well, 30 odd years later, here I am, Threadneedle Man, and worked for a Jewish company, and it was always Roseman's, or, you know, the Jews had like man at the end of it, and it just sort of grew up with that. Well, that's where I got the name, Threadneedle Street. You know.
Yes, yeah, by the Bank of England. Because in fact, my stepfather first started as a like trainee tailor, polycuffs, something like that. The Jewish. They was based where the Burberry warehouse is. Over
Mornington Lane.
Yeah, actually, that's where he worked. Yeah. Polycuffs, something like that.
You end up swearing in a minute, won't you?
Yeah, I know, it's a Jewish firm, and he went into tailoring for a while. How long you been here, George?
Beginning of me 14th year here. I come here in '95. So yeah, 14. Yeah, beginning of me 14th year now, and well, I love the game. You know, I've been in it almost for 30 years now. So I've done 12 years with the company that taught me the game, which was Dombey Son. Started in Fleet Street, funny enough. They had 38 shops. Some of them were called Genus Roseman's. I had Tower Bridge Road, Jamaica Road, all South London, East London and that.
And that's where, when I was a kid, we used to get our tonic moeds made up with Roseman's.
Tower Bridge Road. Tower Bridge Road.
I used to go to Jamaica Road. So
Sammy used to work. Sam Henderson used to work.
15, 14, like with the first tonic
on the
moeds.
corner there. Yeah, on the corner. I worked in that shop myself. Yeah, when in the early days. Yeah, and Leslie Andrews was a spin-off of that. They were the sons. You know, so yeah. Tell you a story. Anyhow, I've left school, and the old man looks at me. He's gone, all right, boy, you've left school now. He said, go out there and get yourself a trade, because I don't want no criminals in the house. Because he thought, like, if you ain't got a trade, you're going to be, you know, up to mischief. So anyway, I've got myself. I've got myself.
All right, go on, wait. So
what happened was, Dombey Son, the shop that I started was at Fleet Street, and it was called Dombey Son. I was there. I'll tell you the beginning. I got there after the initial interview, where they said to me, "Look, you got the job, young man." So I was supposed to start on the Monday. I've gone in all suited and booted, looked as proper as I could. So I've walked in, all right, because it was all Mister. It was Mr. this and Mr. that, and Mr. Dyer by this time. Right, Mr. Dyer, there's the broom and there's the kettle. Well, you know, we've been there in the early days. That's what we used to. Oh, right, fair enough. So that was my chore for the next month. You know, tidying up and making the tea. Well, it was apparent that I could be told to do things. So the governor who owned the company actually visited that shop, and he came in because he's the one that actually took me on, and he said, "Oh, right, young man, how are you getting on?" Well, he already knew how I was getting on because he's had rhubarb with the manager and the likes of. Oh yeah, he's a good lad. So the governor, his name's Mr. Jerry Roseman. Yeah. So Jerry comes to me. He's gone, young man, how you getting on? Very well, Mr. Jerry. Would you like to go to college? Oh yes, please, sir. So what they've done, they've allocated me a one-day release to go to the London College of Fashion. Oh, music to me ears, wasn't it? Now I'm in. So I had one-day release. The rest of the time I've been in the shop. I've been under the wing of the cutter fitter. That's the fella that cuts the suits and fits them. Once been under his wing. Oh, I've got to mention there was two levels to this shop. There was the front shop, that was like as you walk in, that was the front shop. Then I'll call it the dungeon. It's a basement really, but it was right nice and tidy. Had a load of off the peg suits in there because this shop, it made to measure, made bespoke suits, and it also sold off the peg suits and stuff. Excuse me. So I'm down in the dungeon, and I've had to, what you call, brush and sleeve all of the suits. There are about 300, 400, 500 suits in there, and they're as clean as a whistle anyhow. But you got to make out, you got to make them look tidy, so when the clients come down, everything's pristine and all that. So you're doing that. When they're satisfied that everything, I'll be up in the front shop. I'll be seeing how the manager and the cutter fitter, who was also the salesman, I'd see how they approach the clients, and that was how I got to learn how to serve clients and how to talk to people. Not with the South London, yes sir, how sir, yeah, how are you sir? Well, you know how you got to conduct yourself in situations. So yeah, London College of Fashion, along with Dombey Son.
What happened to make you choose, like, now you're going to branch out on your own?
Well, no, by this time I've spent 12 years on Dombey Son. The old man, Mr. Jerry, died. The boys, Leslie and Andrew, took over the company and absolutely slaughtered the company. I've got to tell you this. So what happened was, when I say slaughtered the company, they were selling all the freeholds and selling all. They're reduced to one shop, right? So obviously, I'm surplus to requirements. So now I'm on the dole. Well, as luck would have it, a colleague I worked with in one of the shops, he had a right lucky touch. As a boy, he worked for a company called Sydney Fox, and where we were working in Peckham, he started off as a boy in Peckham at this Sydney Fox shop. I worked for Leslie Andrews in Peckham. We worked for Leslie Andrews in Peckham. This is me and Jimmy. His old governor knew he was in the area, said to Jim, look, I'm getting old now. My daughter don't want the shop, don't want the business. Would you take it over? Of course I'll take it over, mate. He's gone, but you ain't going nowhere. We can talk about, you know where I am. Anyway, this was on the Monday. On the Wednesday, fella killed over and died. Well, right. So his missus and the accountant came down, saw Jimmy, and said, right, you spoke to I think his name, what was his name? Dick, say his name was Dick, I can't remember now, but say his name was Dick. No, it was Fred Drake, that's what it was. So Fred, you've spoken to Fred, he's agreed that you're going to have it. But anyway, long story short, Jimmy said to me, look, you're coming with me. Went out of one job, straight into another, worked for Sydney Fox for another 12 years. I'm speeding the story. So I worked for Jimmy for 12 years. So Jimmy now, we're in Peckham. Jimmy wants to go to the city. I don't want the city because I started in Fleet Street. I've got to do it for myself now. So I knew the fellow who had this shop, another Greek man. He was the third owner of this shop as a tailor's. So I've said, Archie, his name was Archie. I said, Archie, but look, what are you doing with the place? He said, boy, I've had a couple of art murmurs and that, and you know, I'm a bit old now. Make me an offer. Well, long story short, made him an offer. I'm here. I had to get it out of my system. I had to say, I said to myself, listen, I don't want in a few years' time, you say to yourself, I should have done that, I could have done that, I would have done that. Let's bite the bullet and go out and do it for yourself. So, you know, if I can do it with Jimmy, I can do it for the company that taught me. Because by this time I'm managing shops, I'm cutting, I'm fitting, you know, I've learnt my trade. So here we are, we're in this shop, you know.
Who do you make suits for? You've got some famous customers, or you've had famous customers, haven't you?
Well, since I've been in this shop, I've made for Paolo Hewitt, who's an author. He worked for New Musical Express back in the day. He's got about 40, 50 books under his belt. One of the books is The Soul Stylist. Another one's The Looked After Kid, name two well-known books. He's written about Paul Weller, who's written about Oasis, all Marvin Gaye. He's seen a lot of the greats. This is Paolo Hewitt. I've made for the most recent was David Hay. He was a cruiserweight, or he's a cruiserweight champion. He's gone up to heavyweight now because he's spanked a few people to get all his titles at cruiserweight. So he's gone up to heavyweight now. He's looking to fight one of the Klitschko brothers at the minute. I think it's Vladimir. But who else was there? Can't think now.
Robert Elms?
Oh yes, yeah, of course, Robert Elms.
Is he a regular or is...
Well, I would say Rob's not a regular, but I've made these couple of suits for him. I make for, and funny enough, he's mentioned me quite a number of times on his radio program. And you got well, Gary Crowley, also another BBC London radio presenter. No, that's all right. It goes on an answer machine. See. There's old Suggs of the band Magnus. He came in, he'd done a bit of filming in here as well. See, you make for these people and I'll get photos of them, but you don't always remember, you know, when people ask you who do you make for, because I'm not one of these people that say, you know, I made for this and I made for that, you know. It's me art, and I love to put it on their backs, a suit on their backs.
The local Bermsey artist Ed Gray made his wedding suit. He said, because I've got a quote from him, he emailed me from San Francisco, that the suit got more comments than the bride's dress.
He's so kind. He's a lovely fella. A very, very nice fella. Well, if you manage to speak to him again, you send him my regards.
So, why do these people come to you? Can they get why what is it that you do?
Well, what it is, I have a mod following. Let's put it that way. What I mean by that is in the 60s there was a particular style that the younger generation used to embrace, and the style came from a number of different areas. It came from the American college boy look, with Ivy League. It came from the black soul scene, the way those guys used to dress. It came from the Italian angle, in a certain way they used to dress. It came from the Jamaican rude boys angle. It came from the French angle. It came from literally everywhere. But there was a root to their style, two-tone mohairs, generally a three-button type. What I'm trying to say, Mike, is I grew up in that era, so I knew what was being worn at that time. And all these years later, there's still a very big following on mod scene. Excuse me. Where a lot of tailors of today have sort of left that thinking behind, or that trade, or that style of suit behind. I've still embraced it. So in setting up websites and the internet, I can portray those styles. I could do the Edwardian suit, the Teddy Boy suit, because I've made for Teddy Boys in my time. I've made for the traditional, what I call traditional mod suits. I've also, I'll give it a name. I'll call it the skin mod suit, which is where the skinheads wanted to become smarter than just the bother boots and the short jeans and the braces. They wanted to look as smart as the mods, but taking certain elements of the traditional mod concept, but make it their own, which is what mod is. So, for example, if a traditional mod come in, just by the way he looked, I knew what suit he wanted. If a skin mod come in, because of the haircut, I knew what style he or she wanted. If I call it Billy Ricky, but there's a sort of in between style that is in between the traditional mod and the skin mod. It's hard to explain, but because I know of how the client looks, I know what they want. I can do the city man suit. So people think a suit, but no, there's particular cuts that you give to particular people. And there was a radio program on I think it was on BBC London, and they were talking about what is it about bespoke suits, what is special about bespoke suits. And I just got to give you a quote which I wrote to me. Yeah, so this radio program, Mike, it wanted to know what a bespoke is, and I quickly jotted down these few lines. I actually rang in, but I didn't get on air. But this is what I said. I said the bespoke suit is made to the specific requirements for the client, using traditional hand cutting techniques, along with the traditional handcrafted tailoring methods. It is then fitted and honed to the mind and the body of the client. Fashion labels dictate their own styles and do not reflect the client's personality. I do. But I didn't get on air with it. But so I wrote it down, and my PR said I'll have that, and he printed a couple of things up for
Excellent.
us. You know, so that's what a bespoke suit is.
So yeah, so those people who like suds, always likes a sharp mod style suit.
Yeah.
They you know, maybe is it because other tailors, like say younger tailors who are learning their trade in recent years, haven't been learned to do that cut?
Well, we got to understand that the modern or the younger tailor now, they're growing up with predominantly a fashion that is casual wear, jeans. They weren't exposed to suits as the people in the 60s, because nearly everyone in the 60s wore suits. If you went into a saloon bar anytime, there was people wearing suits. Any of the pubs in them days, people wore suits in those days. Excuse me. there was a time like 70s, 80s where jeans came into the forefront of the fashion, and people started to wear more casual stuff. I think the reason being was because suits started to get a bit too expensive. So where a father would be going down to the tailors, he'd take his 14, 15-year-old son, come on boy, that
It's part of growing up.
it's part of growing up.
Your first suit.
Yeah, that don't happen now, you know. Sadly, well, I say don't happen now. What it is now, what I'm finding now is people have been so long in the casual gear that they're thinking to themselves, with a bit of exposure I might add, they're thinking to themselves, do you know what, I think I'll go and treat myself, I'll go and have a suit made, because by this time you've got there's some brilliant marketing going on. You had fashion people like, say, Paul Smith, Jasper Conran, Boateng. There's quite a number of names out there that they put off the peg suits off the peg, right? So people were going for names now. They were buying suits but going for names, and it's been what, 20 plus years by now where people have been buying off the peg suits, and there's been big exposure about bespoke suits or made to measure suits, and people think, you know what, I'm a bit fed up now with all these names, let's see what a tailor can do for me. So people are thinking more in terms now of having something made specifically for them. So what it is, it's gone full circle. It used to be every 7 years, where it's taken about 25, 30 years before it's gone full circle this time. But people were thinking, well, let's see what a tailor can do. And the difference is, by having one off the peg and having one made for yourself, you're able to choose your own fabric. You're able to get personally measured. You're able to come in and embrace the experience that, you know, someone's got time for you. You're not just going in the shop, oh, that'll do, and away we go, and then have to take it to a tailor to have it altered anyway. You're lapping up the experience of it. So now I've got to say, the off the peg people like Paul Smith and Jasper Conran and Boateng and the likes have been pushing a bespoke range. So that's helped me, because that message is out there to the general populace. So that's helped me. Oh, we can't afford Boateng, we can't afford well, let's see what other tailors there are. And one of the greatest things, I'm never sort of like technology or coming from the old school, but I'm astute enough to realise that the internet is a great vehicle for exposing you as a retailer. And my PR came in and said, look, you need a website. And at first I thought, you know what, I'm not into all that. He said, no, you ain't got to do nothing. Just give me 35 quid and I'll do the rest. Well, that was music to my ears, because all I want to do is cut and make suits. I don't want to mess around with technology. So I'll go out the 35 subs in his bin. Away he went. Next thing you know, people were coming in. All Marky said to me, he's gone, look, get a digital camera. Here's a couple of forms. When you take photos of your clients through the process. When you've got it on their back at the end of the day, and they're happy and they've got that Cheshire cat grin on their boat, what you do, you just say, could you just make some comments there? And with that, pictures are on my website, and testimonials on my website, and it's going from strength to strength.
So where are you getting customers from?
Well,
how far?
I could show you pictures of people coming from Sweden, people coming from Denmark. I've even got a young man coming into, what's today, Friday, 4 o'clock, his parents live in Bermuda. So he's just coming back today to pick up his DJ. today's cut. So people do find me from all over the place.
What's the website address, Jules?
It's well, you could get me on www.
Oh, it's on the
Threadneedle Man.
threadneedleman.co.uk.
Yeah, but you could also, there's a lot of material on MySpace. You can Google Suggs, you get me on there. You can, Gary Crowd, you just Google Mod Tailor and I'm the first one to come up.
Do you ever make for women?
Oh yes.
Mod girls?
Yes,
Mod girls?
I do for mod girls as well, but occasionally I'll have a lady come in and she'll want a structured suit. Whereas these ladies, when they go and buy a suit off the peg, they're usually, there's Karen Millen, there's a few names out there that they buy their suits off. But they want the experience of a tailor, to see the difference, whether they should stick with their Karen Millens or go for a bespoke suit. So I do have a few women other than the mod girls. The mod girls ain't a problem. They know what they want. They know what I'm about. But the ordinary woman that comes in, she's really got to feel me out to see if I'll suit her, basically, in that way. But I might just add, Mike, that in the years that I've been in the trade, I've developed what I call a signature cut. Now, a lot of these other tailors, even the name tailors that I've mentioned to you, your Paul Smiths, etc., have got their signature cut. Right, now, signature means it's your personal idea of that.
Some of them go, that's one of Threadneedle Man.
Right, exactly right.
So that's a Paul Smith.
Right, now, if you've been into, say, for argument's sake, you've been into Harvey Nichols. Harvey Nichols do a range of all the names. Jaeger, you name it, they've got it. They've got different sections. But you go in there and you'll see a label on the sleeve. Why is that label there? So that the client could just come in and don't have to mill reef and have a route about, right? He can just, oh, well, that's a Paul Smith, that's what that's there for. Why? Because all the sleeves, it's that format, it's that. But do you see what I'm saying? The sleeves. Now, that's got gold buttons, that's got cloth buttons, but it's all the same format. Now, I don't need labels on my sleeves, because if you go in and my sleeves are hanging out, you're seeing that. Yeah, but
that flare.
Yeah. Now it's nothing new, but I've done a little twist on it. This can be taken out. Yeah. If I'm left-handed, that could be taken out. That's me, Georgie Dyer. Yeah. Now you might think it's a bit ostentatious, but if I'm in company, I'm at a show. I'll show you what it is. Look at my figure. I'm rounded. So I've cut my jacket. So it's got that round. Yeah. The shape of the lapel, it's different. If I show you all the other lapels they've got there, it's either very pointed or it's more open. That's my cut. The button ups.
An angle,
yeah. The pockets. But slightly higher. The buttons are set. So
a bit further back from the edge.
Right. That's a signature cut. Make me right.
Yeah, now I can see all the differences.
Right, now, if a fella comes in and he's not a rounded shape, and he's got square shoulders, or he's got very slanted shoulders, you've got that cut, but with these details, if you like the signature. That's the difference. Yeah. I'm able to do that. If you want your side vents up there, or you want a centre vent, you can have it. But,
so who makes your suits?
I do.
You measure.
Well, yeah, I measure myself, fit myself, and it goes in. you can see. Now, this is the strength of, well, because what I'm saying, normally it's like that the pills are like
That's
that.
it, yeah. Yeah.
But what I've done, I've taken the double-breasted lapel and the single-breasted, and I've bought that, yeah. But when I'm really going to flash, when I'm going to really flash them, just to show you. Now this is exactly the same cut.
I ain't seen a bit.
Right. Now it ain't the proper tonic. This is a two-tone.
Yeah.
But Mick, look what I've gone and done. I'm out with David A or one of them things, right? Well, the tailor's got to put an appearance, hasn't it?
Yeah.
So the same cut, right? I forgot to tell you about it. I can still have me bit.
Yeah.
And why is it that size?
Because essentially smaller than they're usually like a bit wider, isn't
Thank you. So that's part of the signature, isn't it? Do you see what I mean? You can still have your little hanky in there, still set back, everything the same, but the difference is you've got to be a little bit flash, the tailor. So you've got the velvet collar, and look, whether you like it or not, it's subtle though, isn't it?
You're going to stand out as, look at that suit. It's a bit of a suit, you know, you're going to, ain't you?
Right, so people
they go, oh, he's the tailor, it all kind of makes sense, doesn't it?
Well, I'm with Mark, or people, Paolo, one of, and come meet you, or they say, hey, who's that cunt? You know, yeah. So you're the tailor, ain't you? Yeah, here's me card. You know, they come and find me, so make me right.
So is that yours?
Oh yeah.
Like a glove.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
So you have it here when you're ready to go out. It's always standby.
Well, gives the old woman a swerve. I don't have to go. Yeah, you know. I mean, 30 years in the game, you got to do something.
Yeah.
You got to be able to prove yourself, ain't you?
Of course. Is there something what you're most proud of, George?
What am I most proud of? Well, what I want to do, I want to try and get me signature in the high street stores. You can take that if you.
Oh, can I? Yeah, just write down the address and the website.
Yeah. What am I most proud of? I'd like to get me signature in the high street shops. Yeah. Like your Harvey Nichols and such like. You know, because I think it could really kick off. But what am I most proud of? Of late, I've got to show you this. Marvin, give us a hand, make sure
That's what we brought today, all day I just got out here.
Thanks, mate. Right, well, what am I most proud of? Well, a proud moment was when this client sent me this photo, because I made that suit.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I've made for disabled people in the past. Yeah, he's one of two that was well, I say severely disabled. There was another one, but for some reason he didn't let me take photos. He was like a Muslim or whatever. But what I liked about that picture, she came along with him at the opening rounds. And just left him. He's so independent, it's untrue, right? But when he came here about 3-4 times on his own after that, and giving various fittings and that. But why I'm proud of this picture is because if you look at his face, you look at her face, and you look at all the other faces.
Happiest day.
Yeah. Well, yeah. But everyone else is, and the colouring of that. So Mark, that had to go on the wall. You know, can you see why I'm proud? Because that suit, it's not an ordinary suit. You know, and he's happy, I'm happy, and everybody else is happy. That's what my trade's about. Make it, you know, that sums it up. Putting a smile on people's faces. You know, yeah, the money helps, because well, you know, well, look, if you look, seriously, fuck off all the bills and all the nonsense around. You know,
you've got to have job satisfaction as well. Otherwise, the money don't mean nothing. It's got to have both.
You know, because I mean, we don't put all these obstacles in the way. You know, like bills and taxes and all. We don't put them obstacles in the way. They're there. So,
how much for a made-to-measure suit these days, George?
well, I start for. Let's get this terminology right, Mike. In the old days, in the 60s, made-to-measure and bespoke was the same thing. Of late, today, made-to-measure is not the same as bespoke. Let's clarify this. Made-to-measure now is that you go into a tailor's, they may have what we call a standard block. They measure a standard block, which means a standard pattern, with a standard cut to it, you know, standard style. You go in, the fella measures you up, you pick whatever fabric you want, whatever lining you want, but it's cut to that block, your measurements and that style. Bespoke means that you come in, you pick any fabric you want, any lining you want, and I'll make whatever style you want. Which isn't absolutely true either, because if someone comes in and says, I want a bomber jacket, it's not a traditional tailored garment. So in that respect, you know, bespoke as traditional to the traditional garment as possible, whether it be a coat, Chesterfield, or dinner jacket, or you know where I'm driving. Yes, so bespoke is speaking on behalf of the customer's needs. Made to measure, it's cut to standard block. But in the old days, made to measure, it was a given that it was a bespoke because there weren't no alternatives, but there is now. So it's playing on words, I know, but it's important for people to know that bespoke and made to measure is not the same now. Well, yeah.
So how much?
Oh, yeah. Basic.
It is about the money.
Yeah. Basic two-piece price is start at £650. And when I say basic, because for example, some clients come in and want a fancy coloured linings. What is £50 on top of that price? Because not everyone wants fancy linings. There's £25 a set of cloth buttons because not everyone wants cloth buttons. Some people have working buttonholes on the sleeves. It's £10 a buttonhole because it's crafted, it's handcrafted, it's not machined. So, and not everybody wants working. So I'm not like, say, for example, Savile Row, where you would get these things automatically. I let the customers spend from £650, let them spend what they feel they need to spend. They might pick a fabric that's £1,000 because I have them in here. I'll go up over £2,000 for a suit. I don't sell a lot of them in Walworth Road at the minute, but you know, city's coming, so you know the place is coming up in stature. So hoping to be here then. So yeah, the basic two-piece price for a suit is £650. But having said that, my bespoke signature cut starts at £2,000. Why? Because this cut you don't get anywhere else. It's mine. You know, you won't see none of this, and you can hunt high and low. You will not go anywhere. You might see a jacket with one, but it'll be standard. You might see a jacket with an open cuff, but it won't be like that. You know, 30 years is what's gone into that.
What's most of your customers? Wedding? Getting married?
Well, it used to be. It used to be special occasions. But because I've got a particular following, I've got a website, the gospel about me has been spread in that you got people in offices, city people, the mods, various types of mods, people who might not even have an occasion, but certain men in their lives say to themselves, listen, in one time in my life, I've got to have a suit made for me. It could be a young man of 18, it could be a man of 70. In between that, certain men, I've got to have a suit. If there's one thing I do in my life, I've got to have a suit made. Even if they're not wearing a suit at a particular time in their life, they've promised themselves before the day's out, I've got to have a proper suit, just to get the experience of it. No, it's not just weddings. It could be for anything, you know. Well, that's it.
I've got no more questions. Anything you'd like to add, George?
Just spread the gospel best you can.
Well, everyone who reads the Southwark News will be getting it. It's been a pleasure.
And you, Mike. Yeah, but yeah, you know that's me. But you agree that is a signature? I mean, you know,
yeah.
Now,
then now someone will be there with their one on and go, that's another one, because it's those things that stand out.